Some of the questions I get a lot from clients include, how do we report on our data in Attio? How do I measure this? What does this report do? Attio has a few different report types, and each one tells a slightly different story about your business. In this video, I'll break down what each report does, when to use it, and how to use Attio's reporting to measure what's working and what's not. Let's get started. Now, of course, in order to get the most out of your reports, you need to have a strong foundation and structure in place along with good data hygiene, but let's assume that's already in place. There are a few report types available in Attio currently. You can see the Insight report, which is what I'm on now, and this shows the current state of your data. So you can use it when you want to see metrics at the time of viewing the report. You can see, flexible totals, averages, and breakdowns with the option to group and segment by 2 attributes. It can answer things like, how many of this are there? What's the total or average? How is that value split by a specific attribute? How many times did something happen in a given time period? For example, I can see, I'll just go to people here. I want to see all people records that exist in my account. I can see the metric is count records. I can group by, person type or life cycle stage, for example. Again, this goes back to my earlier point. This all has to do with how your data and your structure is set up in Attio, what your attributes look like. It's going to look a little bit different for everyone, but you can see, if I just go to count records, I can see 11 records here. The visualization option that it gives me is a single metric, but now if I group this by, let's say life cycle stage, now it will show me a different type of report. So the visualization can change now because now we have something that we're grouping it by, right? So it just moves past that single visualization metric that you saw earlier. And now I can use a bar, a pie, or a line here. And now, of course, I can change this data source as well, right? Like I can report on deals, for example. So now I'm counting the number of deals that I have, but now I can group this by, deal stage, for example. So I can see, okay, I have, 28 deals in my lead stage. I have 25 deals in progress. I have 8 deals in my won stage, and I have 15 in my loss stage. And then maybe something else I want to segment by is deal owner, for example. And now, of course, this is my demo account. So this is, not going to have much data. It's not going to show you too much, but you can kind of follow along in your own account and just see what this looks like for you. So you can segment by different attributes here, deal owner, like I'm just showing you now, or for example. So if you have, a partner or someone or a company that refers to a lot of business, you can start segmenting by that. But again, this report is really just showing you the current state of your business, the current state of your data at this point in time. The second report type that I want to show you is what we call historical values. So this helps you track how your data has changed over a period of time. So you can see how a metric has changed over time. So this is really helpful, especially if you're looking to compare to a certain period. So maybe you're looking to see, what your ARR looks like today versus last year, or this quarter versus last quarter. So for example, has your total ARR increased, decreased, or stayed the same over time? Have you gained or lost customers over time? How many active deals have you had in these stages over time? And I can just show you kind of an example of that. So let's say, deals. I want to look at deal value specifically. And now I can see, okay, here's a start, right? It's showing me on a monthly basis. Since I've had this account, it's showing me what my deal values have looked like throughout the months. And I can segment by, deal owner, for example. That's extremely helpful. So you can see, how is your sales team performing? How's each individual performing? And you can also see the visualization. I can change from bar to line. I personally like the bar better. I think it's a better visualization method, at least for this kind of report. But you can really segment by other attributes as well. This is just what I have currently available to me. And another thing that you might want to do is add a filter. So for example, maybe you have a couple of different pipelines or deal types, I should say, right? So let's say you have, new business and renewals and expansion, and now you just want to see new business in this report. Ideally, what you would have is like a deal type attribute, for example, and then you can use that attribute to filter and just put, show me all deals that are just new business here. Again, it's kind of tricky for me to show you here, but ideally, you would have this, deal type attribute here, and select, new business, and then you can give this report a name like new business pipeline monthly, for example, or, deal value monthly. Another one that you might want to see that I think would be helpful is 1. So deal stage is 1, right? And now you can see, okay, how many, what deal value has appeared in the deal stage 1. So basically, how much have I won, right? How much revenue have we generated over time? And from March to October, has that decreased? Has that stayed the same? Has that increased? So that's a really good metric, I find, to compare. And if you've been using Attio for even longer than that, you can even look at yearly. So you can start comparing yearly and quarterly and monthly, which is what we're at now. So I think this one is a very helpful report as well. The next report I want to show you is the funnel report. So this report really helps measure the percentage of records that progress through stages / your life cycle or your sales cycle. So you can really see those conversion rates from stage to stage. For example, what percentage of your deals convert to the 1 stage? Where do you tend to see the most drop off? What percentage of records moved from 1 stage to the next stage? So we can start with deals because I think that one is the most obvious, right? And now I'm going to include all stages, lead, in progress, won, and lost. And I can see here, I might want to actually turn off loss because I just want to see maybe my won rates, right? So I can see, okay, so looks like I have, a 24% win rate. It shows me what my drop-off percentage is. And I think that makes sense to me. So now let's see, loss rates. So I can see, okay, we have about a 48% loss rate. For example, that's how many deals move from in progress to lost. So you can really select the stages that you want to see here. And again, one report that might be helpful is just seeing your sales cycle from start to close 1, and then maybe your sales cycle from start to closed lost, right? But maybe you also want to track what your conversion rates are through the sales cycle without that 1 or that loss stage. Maybe you just want to see, okay, well, how many leads or how many deals are converting from the first stage to the second stage, right? Now you can start to see that as well. And you can also do deal value here. Instead of just counting records, you can do deal value. And then I can do, 1, okay? And then you can see, okay, these are the conversion rates that I'm seeing here. This is what my deal value looks like. I start with 13 million US. It drops off, and now in the in progress stage we have about over 7 million, and then in the 1 stage we have about just over 1 million. So now I can start to think about it like, is this a good conversion rate for both number of deals and also deal value? Are we overestimating how much revenue a deal is going to bring in? Are we seeing any bottlenecks or drop-offs, like major drop-offs? Should our win rates be a little bit higher? These are things that you can kind of start to ask yourself when you're creating a report like this. And again, you can use filters as well. Like, for example, maybe you just want to look at a specific type of deal or a specific type of pipeline, or maybe you just want to see, a specific, not a specific, but maybe you just want to look at some salespeople or some deal owners, for example. And remember, this isn't just limited to deals, right? So if I go to people, if I have a life cycle stage, for example, that could be helpful too. I can see, okay, how many leads, how many people in my case here, how many people are moving from new lead to qualified? That's another good metric that we can measure here. So it's not just limited to the deals object. You can use this across a variety of objects, especially if you're using a status attribute in those objects as well. Okay, so the next type of report I'd like to show you is time in stage. So sounds pretty straightforward, right? This shows you how long records spend in stages. For example, how long is your sales cycle? How long are deals sitting in specific stages? And you can maybe start to see, okay, well, how long does it take, to go from point A to point B? This report focuses specifically more on, how long records spend in stages, not so much, conversion rates and all of that, but you can kind of start to see trends there as well. So, this is really helpful to gain a better understanding of the duration of your sales cycle and life cycle, so that you can really spot those bottlenecks. And you can start to ask those questions, why do we take so long in this stage? Is there a valid reason, or is there an area that we can improve on? Is there an opportunity for improvement there? So I'm going to select deals as my data source. This is typically what you're going to be using when you're using this time and stage report. Or if you have another type of object that's quite similar to deals, maybe you have your own custom object, for example. And then I'm going to select my deal stage as my status attribute. And for stages, I'm actually going to remove won and lost, because I don't really care how long a deal is sitting in the won or lost stage. I more so care how long a deal is sitting in those earlier stages. So on average, I can see here, okay, my deals are sitting in this stage for over 7 months. Same thing with in progress, right? And another thing to think about is, do you have some sort of target, right, in mind? So for example, I can turn on a target here, and I can say, okay, maybe I want deals to be in each stage for a maximum of 3 weeks, right? And so then you can start to measure against targets as well. And you can always group by other attributes like deal owners, so you can start to see, okay, this person takes a bit longer with their deals than this person, right? And maybe that's valid, but that's also an opportunity for you to start asking some questions and just seeing where there's area for improvement, right? And then you can also, again, add those filters. So if you're just looking to measure a specific pipeline or deal type, you can do that here as well. But yeah, this is supposed to give you a good idea and a good understanding of how long your deals are spending in those stages or records, right? Or records in a more general sense. And you can see I added in that target, and now you can see this line here. Okay, whoa, we're way over our target. What can we do to bring this average time down? And now the final report type that I want to show you is the stage change report. So this shows you the number or value of records that entered a stage during a time period. So it really allows you to measure the movement of records, right? So how many records entered a particular stage this last week, month, or quarter? What value moved into this particular stage? You can even track, deal value moving into a one stage, for example, the number of new leads or deals entering a stage. So for example, if I just select deals again as a source, I can do deal stage because that's what I'm looking to track. And now I can include all stages, right? Or of course, turn off some stages if I'm not interested in certain ones. And then the default metric is count records, but I can change this to deal value so I can see, what value of deals are entering these particular stages over this time period, right? And then another thing is I can change this visualization. So of course, again, I can change this to a line, or I can turn off stack bars because maybe this looks a little confusing. So I can do it like that. And then I can see, okay, this matches the colors of your actual statuses. So I can see, okay, so this is the value that moved into one, but whoa, we had a way larger value amount move into lost. Okay, why is that? And that's where we can start kind of digging into that as well. Or again, we can go back to count records. So let's see that. And then you can kind of get a good sense. Okay, 29 records, moved into deal stage lead in March. Okay, and then 24 moved into this stage, so on and so forth. And then of course I can change the timing here, right? I can do period to date, so month to date. I can do year to date, right? And then it shows me earlier on in the year. And then I can change, here quarterly, for example, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. And then I can even compare. So previous year. Of course, I don't have data in here, but if you have been using Attio for a longer period of time, then you can start comparing to match that previous time period. So for example, quarter to date, right? Now I want to compare to my previous quarter, or maybe month to date. I want to compare to a previous month. So you get the idea, right? This is really helpful for comparisons and just seeing how much movement are we seeing, Are we seeing a lot of deals moving into that initial deal stage, but then not a lot of deals moving into that second stage? Why is that, right? So this report is really there to help inform you of that. And another good one, which I mentioned earlier, is like deal one. So, maybe I want to see, I'm going to do all here. I want to see, okay, how many records moved into my deal one stage? And I can see, okay, in March, 8 deals moved into that one stage. Now, obviously, if I had more data in here, I would see it across more recent months as well. Same thing, if I go back to deal value there. So yeah, it's a really helpful report as well. I hope you found this video helpful. It was really meant to be an overview of Attio's reports and report types, and to give you a better sense of what you can report on and what you can track in Attio. And like I said earlier on in the video, it really does come down to having that good, strong foundation and structure in place first, along with clean data, and then reporting second, because that's when you can really start to leverage reports in Attio. If you feel like you learned something from this video, then please feel free to like and subscribe. And if you need one-on-one help, then feel free to schedule an intro call with me. My link and contact info is in the description. Thanks for watching.